All right. As we wind down the show, like we probably were going to have to come back and do another comments section video because I probably put way too many comments than Chris and I can actually get through. So be sure if you guys are watching this, like, sub, share, leave a comment because that's actually why we're here. And who knows, maybe we can like it'll be interesting to see if we have a positive growth month so that the trolls who hate us can actually think we're doing this for the growth. So if you haven't subscribed over on the YouTube side, it's a free little click. It's a free little click. You can also double tap the dislike button. Interestingly enough, our videos are very well liked from the people who watch them. So we guys appreciate you. Okay, so we went and curated a bunch of different comments, and we'd like to be able to try to bring this back a little bit more. We'll get through as many comments as we can get through in this video itself. I've got way more than we've got 10 minutes, but we'll go ahead and spend some time in this. Mitchell writes, as someone who's quit games purely due to the FOMO, one of the things that really made me love Final Fantasy XIV was the fact that they added things to the shop eventually. I mean that I was always had the option, even if I didn't choose to nab the items in game. Feeling like I missed something I didn't even know was around, and now I'm just kind of screwed is one of the worst feelings. But I am a very collection oriented, so maybe I'm a minority. Also, Final Fantasy XIV has done some dumb FOMO things too, so they aren't perfect at this. And this is obviously talking about our concept of the seasonal model within New World and Final Fantasy XIV. 14 seasons, they move them into the cash shop, then 1 year after, and that's been the established pattern that they've done for 10 years. What do you think, Chris?
I don't like that the seasonal events don't just come back in the first place. Like I would rather just bypass the whole thing and just say like you can do it next Easter. I don't think that needs to be like World of Warcraft, where they just don't update the event ever. Like,
right,
that there are events that are like 10 years old and they've been identical. It would be nice if they kind of breathe some life into them. But I can see this point of view. I can, I think like Guild Wars selling living seasons, and they are cheaper mounts. So it's not like they're $35 mounts. So they're not just gouging. It's a lot like living seasons, where it's cheap stuff if you really want to pick it up. So I can see this point of view. I prefer, the collecting is about the journey for me. I very rarely actually finish any collections I start, but I like the act of collecting. The act of the hoarding portion is the part I like, not having the hoard. That I often find stressful. So I have crap all over my house for that reason. I like the act of acquiring. And so I would like to see the quests come back. And so if that's going to be the case, right, it's like a compromise between what Mitchell's suggesting and what I would want, then if I buy that item, then give me the quest back in New Game Plus. So give me the quest in New Game Plus and put the quest in New Game Plus for anybody that did do it. I would like to see that, even if it was only available during the event, because the New Game Plus stuff within the events has started to come back. It's kind of weird. They've done it for a couple of recent events. Have had it where you walk up to them and you can talk to them and replay that. So I would love to see New Game Plus include the seasonal events, especially because the seasonal events oftentimes, specifically, because that's what we're talking about here, they have all these really fun interactions with people from the story. And if you are a brand new player who hasn't done Heavensward yet, and you're going through the free trial, which does include the critically acclaimed Heavensward, you could be pushing through this and not have a relationship with somebody that the seasonal event makes really light of. And those seasonal events are more fun if you're getting all the references in all the optional portion, like the last step. And it would be really neat if you could go back and kind of re-experience those, especially if something significant happens. Let's imagine 7.0, that a major character that we've interacted with off and on since whatever expansion either dies or gets a big role and steps forward and is now our buddy, or takes us to some new place and we're excited about that. And so they become all the talk of the town, more so than they've ever been before. It would be really fun to go back and re-experience all the journeys we've had with them in the past. And some of that flavor is locked behind seasonal events that are just gone outside of Gamer Escape.
So my thing would be kind of a slightly different approach from what you suggested, because I do think the quests themselves, it'd be really great if somebody's coming in this year would be able to play the story pieces in the chapters all the way leading into the current chapter. Obviously, I think New Game Plus makes the most sense to be able to kind of step back in time, so that way you're not like, oh, congrats, you got 10 years worth of this quest to do before the new one goes away and you have to wait a year. But I think it'd be interesting to see in terms of it, because we talked about that in that video, a core aspect of it is more or less connected to them wanting to put stuff in the cash shop, especially earlier on, right? Them putting that stuff in the cash shop, that made sense at the time. I think it'd be interesting to say keep the quests in, and doing the quests would give you a discount on the item. They could always keep the same price, but like if you finish the in-game,
it's like there's a quest skip portion of the price.
Yeah. So if you've skipped the quest or whatever, it's now like Nebulink says, the $5 or whatever. But if you've now done the quest, if you've gone and actually done the quest, ting, hit your account, guess what? It's $250, or whatever. Like the
price
numbers.
of your scavenger hunt is a coupon.
Well, and you get it for free if you're on the current, the current story piece of whatever. But then they could still have it flow into the shop. They could still have it to where it's like, yeah, you kind of, like if you go and do the quest, you can purchase it. You can go purchase any of the seasonal items now that they're on the shop whenever you want. But if you do the work, if you do the activity, then you can just be like, you can have that discounted look. Mitchell actually is also in chat, so we got Mitchell here. He says, would love for the events to also be a New Game Plus, as it's the only option. Those recording those events, some are doing them now, but some also have the earliest events are just functionally gone. And yeah, I think a lot of people would get behind at least the quests and the story piece, because you have to live through YouTube. You have to live through the Gamerscape to experience those now 100%. Now, like I said, comment section, that was a big one. I've got one comment I want to highlight for us live. And as we kind of wrap up today's live show, we'll be back next Monday, guys. So just, ring that bell, and, I get them scheduled out for y'all. And so keep bringing us your topics and your comments and so much more, because there's a lot of fun. But